I actually have started loving it because I've pre-planned a lot of things. Buy little things like sensory books, stickers, sensory toys. Especially my 2-year-old was bouncing off the... I was like dying. Milk is something that is very important to take because sometimes your kid is not going to switch to a new milk. Even change into it. Yeah, exactly. So honestly, don't pack too much of clothes. I say that, but just don't. Just take my advice on that. Here's how I overcame the chaos of traveling with children. I actually have started loving it because I've pre-planned a lot of things. And here is the first question.
How do you entertain kids during long flights?
Okay, so here's the trick. What I do is I go to a shop before every flight, go buy little toys like sensory toys, sticker books, drawings, and I of course preload all their favorite TV shows. But the toys and also the little sticker books, I don't give it to them until we get on the flight. So when I do get on the flight, they have new stuff to look at, because if it's still the same old things, they're just going to forget about it and get bored. But when it's something new, they're even more entertained for a long period of time.
How to manage feeding, especially for a fussy eater?
Okay, so my son is a bit of a fussy eater and my daughter just eats everything. But what I've realized is like any biscuits, like milk biscuits, which they absolutely love, is something that I give them. So they love to snack. They love chips, they love tippy tip. That's our famous thing in the household. So what I do is I just pack everything up into a bag, into our travel bag, and just take it on the flight, and then they just keep eating that. Like there's no fuss, nothing. Just always give them something that they like. That's the best thing you can do. Don't try to give them anything else. Just give them something they like. Easy.
How do you avoid ear pain for an infant while flying?
Okay, so the best thing you can do is of course give the pacifier before landing and when taking off, or you can feed them a milk or some water from the bottle, because that helps when they're sucking, that helps them clear their ears. That's a simple way.
How do you handle travel sickness for toddlers?
Okay, so my doctor actually thinks I'm crazy, but every time before we go on a flight, I always send him a message saying, if my kid gets food poisoning, if he gets a cough, if he gets a cold, if anything, like I just list down all the sicknesses and I ask him, what do I take? So I take everything. I take the cough syrups, I take the Panadols, I take the medicine if they get like stomach bugs. I just take everything with me so that I am prepared 100%. And like once my kids did get sick, and I was so thankful that I actually took everything, even for nausea, everything, pretty much everything I've taken. I've thought of that. So always speak to your doctor and see and ask him, even if it's like an antibiotic, even just ask him, if this doesn't work, would this work? So he will explain everything to you. Always speak to your pediatrician, because that's the best way forward for traveling with kids who are sick.
How do you pack light with an infant?
So I definitely don't pack light. If I say that I do, that's a complete lie and my husband will just laugh at me. I basically take everything, but the most essential thing that you should take is of course wet wipes. Milk is something that is very important to take, because sometimes your kid is not going to switch to a new milk, to a new formula, so it's always better to take extra of that. Diapers, even if it runs out, you can get diapers anywhere. So always make sure to kind of like pack the milk and any of the medicines. Just have a checklist of what you really need and what you actually think you can find in a different country. I think that's the most important thing. Like diapers and like wet pipes also, definitely you can get anywhere in any country. But like your milk is something that is very important. So always try to pack extra of that. Clothes, honestly, I used to pack like 2-3 outfits a day. My kids only go through 1 outfit a day. So honestly, don't pack too much of clothes. I say that, but just don't. Just take my advice on that.
How do you lay a baby above 2 years to sleep on a flight?
So my daughter is very used to sleeping in the dark. So what I do is she sleeps on me, and I take a blanket and I cover it around her. So it's a blanket that is easy to breathe, of course. So it's a blanket over her, and so I basically recreate her entire bedtime. White noise machine, I have a little travel white noise machine where I put it near her ear so she feels like she's still in her cot. So that is how I kind of recreate the whole bedtime routine, her sleep sacks, her favorite sleep sack, her favorite toy that she sleeps with. I recreate that, and that's how I kind of make it easy to get her to fall asleep. I'm not going to say it's easy to make your kid fall asleep on a flight, but I try to create that environment for her that is the same in her room and on the flight.
Okay, last question. What foods do you think kids should avoid before flights?
I think it all depends on your child, but for my case, I would definitely try to avoid a bit of dairy food and sugary food that will get them a bit too hyper on the flight. So definitely avoid those things because those can kind of affect the whole flight. So it all depends on your child for sure. Always just make sure you take something that just doesn't get them to bounce off the walls. That's the main thing. If you have any more questions about baby traveling or anything, please do drop a comment below or DM me. I'll be happy to help you. I hope you enjoyed these questions and I hope it helped you. But you know, traveling with kids can be chaotic, but if you pre-plan everything, I'm sure you'll be able to handle it. So definitely make your family trips easy with Halo Holidays.